Right, we are here at LIV Golf UK by JCB, and we've got the legend that is Ian Poulter. Nice of you to join us, Ian.
Morning.
And we are going to do a what's in the bag. Before we get all the way into the clubs, I want to know your current situation. When I first was aware of you as a tour player, you were a TaylorMade guy, then you were a Cobra guy, then you were a Titleist guy. Where are we now? Are we free? Are we non-contracted?
Well,
What's the situation?
I actually started off as a Titleist player.
Okay.
I'm currently using, I'm non-contracted.
But you're choosing
So
to use
I can use anything I want to use. The contracts that the manufacturers want to pay for us being on LIV are not big enough for me to sign a contract with any of them.
Okay.
So therefore, I'm a free agent. I can use whatever the hell I want, which is great. So, and I just happen to choose Titleist from a perspective of I like the look of the head. I know they perform. It's easy for me to get my equipment checked and changed.
So that was going to be my next question. With LIV set up now, in terms of getting your equipment serviced, obviously previously PJ Tour, DP World Tour, you had the OEM Tour vans on site all the time. Who looks after your equipment now? If you need to make tweaks and changes, how does that work now?
Well, I do the tweaks pretty much for the most part of the year.
Okay.
So at home I have a loft and line machine, I have a swing balance machine, I change all my own grips.
You're a fellow PGA Pro, aren't you?
PGA Pro, so
yeah.
I use that to my advantage. But when it comes to new equipment, obviously I've got the ability when I'm in the UK to go to Woburn, see Liam and the guys. And if not, you know, if I'm in the States, the guys will send some stuff across the pond. But yeah, this current setup at the minute seems pretty good.
Perfect. Let's get into it. Do you mind if we start top end of the bag?
Sure.
What are we in driver?
Ping LST G430 driver.
And we've got, as a lot of people are playing, the Fuji Aventus TR Blue 6X. So what got you in this combo and what do you like about it?
I put the Ping head in the start of last year. I just wanted to try it. There was a lot of guys using it, and obviously non-contracted. It's fun sometimes to have a little try and see what's out there. It's been very consistent, very stable. That's why that's stayed in the bag as it is. I like it.
So you a guy that goes around looking at other people's, because we did a what's in the bag with Blandy the other week, and he seemed to be ferreting around in other people's golf bags all over the place looking for little nuggets. Are you someone who looks around and sees what other people are playing?
Not really. Look, there's so much equipment out there, there's so many different shaft options out there. You could be going down a rabbit hole for 12 months and find yourself in a world of trouble. So look, it's dead simple. A lot of guys use this driver. There's a reason for it. So, let's go and try it and see if it's any good. Yes, it's good, it's in the bag.
Done.
I don't need to try any more than that.
Okay, 3-win, let's go on. What's next? So we're into a Titleist TSR 2 Plus, so the bigger head, deeper face. Talk me through that.
Needed a 3-wood. This is the hardest club in the bag, I think, to find.
Yeah.
3-woods are always very, very tricky. This has been heel weighted. I want the ball to be able to, it's heel and back weighted internally with some glue mount. It's a 13 head, it's towed in slightly. I want to be able to see that ball moving right to left.
So everything we're talking with the heel bias there, the toe in, weight back, is encouraging right to left.
Will help it move right to left. So Liam knows how I want my 3-woods to sit. So it's a call to Liam at Titleist. And yeah, having it move right to left.
A little bit of tour source I've just noticed here. You've got a little bit of a white mark down the centre there. So have you sharpied in the grooves around the centre to highlight that sweet spot for you? That's a lining up thing, is it?
It's just a visual thing. So it's a sweet spot visual. That's all it is.
It looks like the type of thing I used to do with my blades when I would wear a mark to make it look like I could strike them.
A lot of guys don't like to see the grooves. A lot of guys do like to see the grooves. I'm one of those guys that just, I want it to look right. So, you'll see when you move into the 5-wood. I've done the same with that. It's a slight visual thing. You mentioned about an old 5-wood that I found in the bag in my office from like 2007.
So just for context there, we were having a chat off camera. So Ian, at the start, was it this year, we experimented again with an old Titleist 906 F2?
I needed something that went 235 yards. This 3-iron happens to go 235, but I wanted something on a slightly higher flight. That was an old 5-wood that I pulled out the office, which I'd had lots of success with. I tried it, and under today's terms, it went too far because the 5-wood that I had back then was a longer shafted one, but I wasn't hitting the ball as hard back then as I am today, funnily enough, even though I'm quite old.
Sure.
So, I made a call into Liam. I said, I need a 5-wood. I need it shorter than standard. you know, it came in, I cut it down more. So, you know, at home I took another quarter of an inch off it.
Just feeling it, it does feel short, yeah.
Hence why you can see all the lead tape around the back. So that is me bringing the
swing weight
back up to normal, put it in the setting of A4, tested it, and it's pretty good.
So essentially we've got 2 clubs here that go 235.
Yeah, 235, but albeit just on a different flight.
So will you pick between those?
I will pick between them, yeah.
Understood. Okay,
Yep.
great. So moving down into the irons, so we've got a slight little combo set here. So we're starting in 3 and 4 iron. We've got the T200 from Titleist, and they're
Yep.
with graphite Mitsubishi tent size shafts.
Yep.
So the thought process on the top end of the bag, a little bit more launch, a little bit more speed off the face.
Yeah, just carry distance more than anything else. I want a slightly higher flight. These heads give me that option right there of a slightly higher flight. Again, consistency. I had the 3 iron made before I ever had the 4 iron made. I really liked the flight on this.
Okay.
So then I stepped it down into a 4 iron. So, you know, in terms of blending and getting the right carry distance, you know, these sit in a window. So I've weakened the 4 iron slightly.
Okay.
By a degree to get my carry number to match in with 5.
So it's
4,
all about creating those
3.
constant increments
It's
that you want.
It's just the right gap. And I mean, everyone's different. Everyone likes a certain number, they want to hit it. And then obviously once we get past 3 and 4 iron, T100s from 5 down into 9 iron.
One thing I'm noticing here that I don't know whether I'm overly speculating on, we've got a little bit of a wear mark down the centre of the sole there. Has that had some work on grind wise, or is that?
Yeah, we just took the leading edge and give it a tiny bit more pre-wear.
Okay, softened it a bit.
Just softened it a tiny bit.
Perfect. And how are you finding the T100s?
T100s feel good. I mean, look, they look good. So first and foremost, do they look good when you put it down? Yes. Do they do what they're supposed to do, and do they carry the right distance? Yes. All good.
Check in. Vokey wedges. So we all the way in SM10s here. We've got 46, 52, 56 and 60. So you're a specialist wedge, pitcher wedge guy rather than a set wedge guy. Has always been the same way?
Oh, I changed that a couple of years ago. I don't spin the ball a lot.
Okay.
So therefore I found that actually with the 46 in the Vokey, I picked up a tiny bit more spin.
Okay.
Might have something to do with the way the grooves are considering the way they are in a normal set of irons. So I actually think that was the option for me to hop straight into a wedge.
And an interesting bounce setup. So we've got 12 degrees of bounce in the F grind in the 52, 14 F in the 56, which is quite a lot of bounce comparatively. We've got quite a wide soled K grind here. Is this the low bounce K, or is this the
4 degrees?
4 degrees of bounce. So do you ever mess with your bounce setup depending on the venue, or are you someone who just adapts? Yeah.
No, I've had this setup now for a long time. I've had quite a lot of success with that setup. I feel I've got every option that I need right there to be able to do what it is I need to do. So, you know, in terms of bounce, no real bounce on a lob wedge. 4 degrees is very minimal, but I have the option, obviously, with a wider sole there to open it up, create a little bit more bounce in a bunker. If it's a longer bunker shot, you know, moving straight into a 56 with 14 degrees of bounce is easy because there's plenty of bounce there to be able to help that shot.
Yeah.
Chipping's easier. I never open the face on a 56 when chipping. If anything, I play it super square. So therefore, the 14 degrees of bounce helps that. A lot of guys get into a 56 and open it slightly, which to create the extra bounce, I don't need to do that.
Because you've got it there.
Just because I have it there. And again, everyone's different. Everyone's contact, everyone's low point when they're striking a chip shot is a bit different.
Hence why we've got so many grinds and options and people like Nick from Titleist who can get you into the right stuff, right?
Yeah, you have to try different bounces, I think, more than anything else. That's one of the key areas of the golf. There's a lot of scoring ability with all of these clubs right here, and you need to test and find out what is the right bounce for your type of action, because the ground interaction with the bounce is critical for playing the right shot.
Bounce-wise, for players in the UK, so I find as I still play a little bit competitively, and we play in such different conditions if you're just purely UK-based, from playing in Shrek Swamp in February all the way through to like hitting off the M25 in July, August. I've always been an advocate for people carrying 2 lob wedges for those extremities of conditions. You travel all around the world, but like I say, I was just interested to see you have the same setup and you just find that's versatile.
Well, I have 2 here this week.
Okay, there you go. That answers that perfectly well. There you go. Moving on.
I have an AD grind as well, so there's one in my locker. So
okay, perfect. So you are an advocate of that.
I do have 2. lob wedges. They've both got 4 degrees of bounce. K grinder's just got a bit of a fatter sole. Depending on the sand, how I feel the sand playing this week, will depend which one of the 2 I put in.
So it's more sand for you than turf?
It's more sand.
Okay, interesting. Right, putter now, a little bit behind the scenes here. I bumped into you at Woburn a couple of nights ago getting out of the car, and I saw you trying out a few putters heading to the putting green, and I was interested to see when I pulled the head cover off this, you tell me it's a very old model. So we've got an Odyssey 1100 DFX, tiny little coppery style head, one little alignment line on the top. The old DFX grip that I know I've seen you with a lot on a lot of putters, even Scotty Cameron putters,
every putter,
right?
I have that grip on every putter.
Just a familiarity thing, love the feel.
Just like the feel of it.
So how did we settle on this the other night on the green at Woburn?
A few were going in.
And that was it?
Dead simple. My stats this year on putting are not very good. It's been very disappointing. So for me, this week is like something's got to change. I feel like I'm stroking it good, but something's not right. Something's not going in. I was in my snooker room the other day, and I've got an array of golf bags through the years in there with a load of putters. Most of my putters are in the US, but it's quite a long way to pop back there to grab a putter. So I was just sifting through. You saw me with probably 5 or 6 putters in hand. This, I don't even know why I like it. It's nothing that I would normally go for. I've used everything from a regular answer looking bladed putter all the way through to a number 7. I've used the Scotty Cameron with the Fang. So to pick this out is something that I would never normally pick out.
It's a little different, isn't it?
But there's something when you put it down, it sits super square.
Yeah. Your grips on your main clubs, so you're a reminder guy. So you've got a rib down the back. I felt on the irons.
I'm a 58 reminder guy, but my gripping. So
I was told to ask you about the taping. Yeah.
Okay. So let's say this is completely clean. I mark off 3 inches from the top with a line. I mark off 4 inches down. I start with 1 piece of tape starting here, going down. And then I start with another piece of tape from 3 inches going down. And then I do 3 full layers over the top of all double-sided tape. Okay, so right there is 3 layers.
Yes.
Right there is 4 layers. Right there is 5 layers.
So we're just taking taper out, or trying to take some taper out.
All I'm doing is taking slight taper out, because the last time I looked, when I go like this, my hands are the same size.
Yeah.
So why am I going to hold something spindly in the right hand when the left hand's it's never made sense to me why it tapers so much into the right hand. And you'll see today, so many manufacturers of grips are now making +4s. Not only +4s, they're making +2s. They're making fatter in the right hand and nothing in the left hand. So
why would you not steer towards that? It's just a feel thing.
Yeah, they're too rubbery.
Okay.
So because you load more rubber into the actual bottom part of the grip itself,
springier,
it becomes too springy. I get too much feedback.
Yeah.
I don't like it being squidgy. I need it to feel firm. So I just, again, it's a pain because it takes ages to do the taping. And once, I probably change my grips 3 or 4 times a year. It's a process because you're going to have to cut it off and peel all the tape off and go again, but it's
got to be right, right?
It's got to be right, yeah.
Well, that is brilliant. And the last thing I just want to talk to you about is one of the coolest bags I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I saw a little bit of insight on the front panel, and you've got some exciting stuff potentially to come down the line with that. Is that right? Yeah,
look, we have Seamless Digital, one of our partners. This panel itself is a full digital panel. This is a carbon plate. In here we have an SD card, the battery sits in here, we plug it in, and then on rotation, every 20-30 seconds, we have different partners on the front of that bag for all of our sponsors. So for us, the ability to interchange between sponsors is awesome, but beta version 3 and 4 will be colour at some point. The other thing as well at some point will be, we will be able to lock in a sponsor if we're coming up the last, lead in, or a sponsor wants to pay more to lock that position in, then we have the ability to do that. We can even
sell in prime time slots, basically.
We can even add a sponsor without me knowing, walking down a hole. We can send that panel a new sponsor added during play.
That's pretty cool.
Welcome
to the future. All right, that's brilliant. Ian Poulter, thank you very much for taking us through the bag, and good luck this week.
Pleasure, thank you.
Brilliant.